What's going on, guys? Coach Matt and YouGoProBaseball.com here again with Dustin Geiger, nuclear baseball. We're here at 180 Performance Center, beautiful place just north of Austin, Texas. So if you're in the area, come check them out. But in this video, I wanted to pick your brain and talk about some of the hitting misconceptions, because there's a lot of information out there these days, you know, with YouTube and everything. But let's talk about some of the big misconceptions in hitting and your thoughts on that.
Sure. There's so much information nowadays, like an overload. You just go on Instagram and everybody's got an idea of what the perfect swing is, right? And I think that there is no one way to swing. Everybody's different. You know, through the course of my career, played 10 years in the minor leagues, right? I don't know if I ever saw the same pitch twice. So every swing is a little bit different. Now there's stuff that we want to be able to, you know, refine into and maybe clean up and give ourselves the best chance, like keep our bat in the zone for the longest period of time. But there's no like, okay, teaching a kid from 9 years old, I just want you to have a little step forward and be like super stiff and just make contact with the baseball. Let the kids flow it out. Like that's what I feel like. You're taking athleticism away from young kids when we're like, all right, I got to focus on, I got to be super this and that, and I know I need my bat to turn like this and be at the perfect angle, and my optimal launch angle is, you know, 26 and a half. And like, oh my guys, when we have youth players that we have to work with, I just need you to square the baseball up and hit it over the infielder's head. If we have the information in our back pocket that we're able to work off of, great. But sometimes we can overload a guy too much and trying to make too perfect of a swing and not creating a hitter. I want to create hitters.
Right.
I want guys that rake in the game. I don't need you to be a 5 o'clock hitter, hit cage bombs. Who's the best 5 o'clock hitter you know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Dropping bombs, but they don't play in the big leagues.
Who? You don't know who they are. They're not a household name.
Right.
Right. So I don't need to necessarily have a one swing that gets it all done. I think there's a lot of different things that we need to get a player to do, and just be athletic in everything they do.
Let me throw a couple specifics at you for misconceptions.
Sure.
You talked about one of them a little bit earlier, but like this is probably the biggest one. Are we trying as a hitter to get on plane with the ball, or are we trying to swing down to the ball and create backspin, or what's your take on this whole debate?
So swing down is a feel. That is an individualized cue for a player. Some people need to feel swing down. You know, we can look at the history of guys that, A-Rod, you know, for example, everything is with him is like, I had to do this. And then if you watch A-Rod swing, he has a perfect, nice, like tight turn with his back shoulder, and he gets on plane early, right, and then stays through the baseball. So but in his head, he's like, hey, I had to swing down. I had to stay on top. I had to look for the top of the baseball. I believe Mike Trout's the same way, looks for the top of the baseball. And I feel like that's a lot of times for guys making sure they don't tip the barrel back towards the catcher or lose their barrel, get disconnected, out of sync, whatever that internal cue is. So I think I've told players to swing down. I've told players to swing up. Like, it's all about what do we get back to neutral in order to give them the best ability to square the baseball up. And like I said, hit that line drive over the infielders' heads.
That's perfectly said. I couldn't have said it better. Now let me ask you this. What about stride? This is another one.
Sure.
Some guys are like, no stride, or they'll say, get the foot down early.
Yep.
Or some guys are like, big leg kick. What's your take on that?
That's all timing. Look at all the crazy stances. Craig Counsell was over the top of his head. I don't know, a lot of you kids probably don't know Tony Bautista. Tony Bautista stood in the box like this. The pitcher was all the way out there, and he was all wrapped around. I think you can find one of his YouTube videos of him like fake charging the mound at a guy in Japan. It was hilarious.
And then he peels off and goes to first. Oh, it's so funny.
Big Jack dude. The pitcher's like peeling off.
He's already running this.
He's gone, like terrified, right? But back to it, like just crazy different stances. Bellinger stands straight up and down. Rondon goes basically that no stride. So that's just your timing mechanism. Whether you go toe tap, you know, Prince Fielder had one of the prettiest toe taps, I feel like, in the game. Leg kick. We got Jose Bautista, Joey Bats with that big old leg kick. That was just their timing mechanism. What gets them to athlete, what gets them into the best position possible, or best launch position is a cue that I use. When your front heel hits the ground, what position are you in? And if we look at that, we have a lot of times where really good hitters are all in some variation of a hinge, right? So they get to their launch position, their front heel hits the ground, and we've got this good hinge angle from shoulder to hip to knee, and they're in that athletic position. And when I need a kid to feel like what their hinge is, I'll ask them typically like, do you play any other sports? And in Texas, everybody plays football. So everybody's like, yeah,
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, baby. So I'm like, how do you line up? Like if you were to square up on somebody your feet might be a little off center, but you're down. You're in that hinge position, right? So if we look at it from a side angle, we're in a hinge position. I'm like, just do that in the box. Do that in the box. Get to that position in the box. And then they go like this. They go, well, okay. I'm like, hey, football position or basketball position, whatever it may be. I'm like, guard me in basketball right now. Dribble a baseball around, dribble my tap connection ball around, whatever it is. And I'm like, all right, go. Like, if you were to defend me right now, would you stand, straight up and down when you hit the ground? Right. No, because I'd run by you and I'd do a nice little alley-oop, put you on a poster, right? So just getting players to athlete. We get so specific in baseball of like, oh, I got to be in this exact spot, and and we forget what the main thing is, and then it's moving. If you move right, you move smooth. See, now I'm stumbling over my words. The nuclear move, right? If you move smooth, then we're going to give ourselves a better chance to work quick, work quick and free, and be explosive.
Be an athlete. I got one more for you.
Yep.
Hitting drills.
Sure.
Some guys are like, drills are gimmicky, they're widgety, training tools are gimmicky, widgety,
Sure.
all this stuff. Where do you stand? Are you a hitting drills guy? Do you like them? Do you hate them? How do you use them if you do? What's your stance on that? Whatever
it takes to get a player to feel a movement, I'm all for it. I've had guys stand with, elevated front foot on a platform. We've put bands around their knees to try to feel a little bit of external rotation, being able to hold, ER in their back hip, whatever it takes. I don't think anything is like too crazy off the wall if it works for that player and it allows them to get a feel. Now, mass implementation of a drill, I kind of get a little bit, it's not personalized, it's not specified for them, or one person. When you just run everybody through the same drill, I'm like, oh, well, this one works. There's very few, I think, movements that, everybody needs to be pounded into. And some guys do it naturally, and I'm like, hey, we're not gonna spend our time on it for more than a couple reps to make sure that it's in our head. But let's focus on something else. Oh, I can't hinge well. Balance. I don't have a good forward move. I don't have a good gather. Everybody's different. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And if there's something where they have to be balanced, on a platform, or I guess maybe the biggest one is like swing with your eyes closed. I don't know about that one. Like, you're never gonna hit with your eyes closed. But anyway, that might be the craziest off the wall thing that I'm not. That's what it looked like when I was swinging. But I kept my eyes open, but it looked like I was swinging with my eyes closed. That's why I turned out to be a pitcher. But I'm glad that you like hitting drills, because we're gonna make a video talking about some hitting drills, right. And even one that you came up with last night. So we'll make another video about that, and we'll post that up real soon. So stay tuned. Drop down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about hitting drills and some of these misconceptions of hitting that we just talked about. Again, if you're in the Austin, Texas area, come on up north about 20 minutes. Check them out at 180 Performance Center. This is Dustin Geiger, Nuclear Baseball. And where can they get a hold of you? Guys, you can find me at Nuclear Baseball on Instagram, 180 Performance Center on Instagram, 180 Performance Center on .com, 180performancecenter.com. All of our contact information's there. Get a hold of me, reach out, and let's get you in here and get you right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next video.